The moment Derrick Henry lowered his shoulder and exploded through that first wave of green jerseys, the entire narrative of the AFC shifted in real time. Because this wasn't just another big night. This was a declaration, a reminder, a warning shot that echoed far beyond Lambeau Field. This wasn't a fluke. This wasn't luck. This wasn't some cute one-week anomaly. This was power football in its purest, most humiliating form, and it forced everyone watching to confront an uncomfortable truth. When the Ravens decide to play this way, when they stop overthinking, when they stop getting cute, when they stop pretending they need balance or finesse, they become something terrifying, something unavoidable, something that no playoff defense wants to see lining up across from them in January. And that's why this performance hit so hard. Because it wasn't just dominant, it was intentional. It was a message sent directly to the rest of the league saying, you can prepare all you want, but if we choose violence, there's nothing you can do about it. This wasn't just Derrick Henry running wild. This was a full-on organizational confession, a public admission that the Ravens messed up before, that they got away from their identity, that they tried to be smarter than the moment demanded. And on this night, with their season hanging by a thread, they corrected that mistake in the loudest way possible. 36 carries, 216 yards, 4 touchdowns, 53 team rushes, over 300 rushing yards. That is not modern football. That is domination. That is a team deciding the other side will break before they do. And Green Bay broke. And that's why this moment exploded the way it did, because everyone watching knew this wasn't just about one game. This was about validation. This was about whether the Ravens could still impose their will when everything was on the line. And they answered that question violently. This game became the center of the football world the second it was clear Baltimore was not playing around. The Packers weren't beaten by trickery or misdirection. They were beaten by force. They were beaten by a team that decided the only thing that mattered was forward momentum. And if you couldn't stop it, that was your problem. And from the opening drive, it was clear Green Bay didn't have an answer. They couldn't get off blocks. They couldn't finish tackles. They couldn't slow the bleeding. And every failed stop made the next one heavier, harder, more demoralizing. And that's where the real controversy lives. Because everyone watching knows this didn't have to be this way. Last week, the Ravens had Derrick Henry rolling, and they took the ball out of his hands. They overthought it. They got cute. They tried to outsmart the game instead of letting the game come to them. And that's what made this performance feel almost angry. Like a correction. Like a staff saying, we're never doing that again. Because when you have a 6'3", 250-pound back who can run through arm tackles, punish linebackers, and still hit the edge with speed, you don't rotate him out because a spreadsheet tells you to. You ride him until the defense quits. And that's exactly what happened. Every carry wore the Packers down. Every hit made them slower. Every missed tackle chipped away at their belief. And by the fourth quarter, when Derrick Henry was still exploding through holes and falling forward for extra yards, the game was already over mentally, even before it was over on the scoreboard. And that's where the conversation turned serious. Because this wasn't just a win. This was proof of concept. This was the Ravens showing exactly who they are when they trust themselves. A team that can control tempo. A team that can shorten the game. A team that can protect its quarterback by never putting him in harm's way. Tyler Huntley didn't need to be spectacular. He needed to be functional. And he was. He moved the chains. He made smart decisions. He didn't force throws. He let the run game carry the weight. And that's exactly how this offense is built to survive. And on the other side, you saw the contrast. Malik Willis played well. He really did. He made throws. He moved the ball. He kept Green Bay alive longer than most expected. But football isn't about flashes when the other team is grinding you into dust. It's about sustainability. And Green Bay didn't have it. Turnovers killed them. Missed opportunities haunted them. And when they needed a stop, they couldn't buy one. This is where the discussion gets uncomfortable for a lot of people, because it forces a hard look at philosophy. The Ravens didn't win because they were clever. They won because they were stubborn. They committed to a style that the rest of the league keeps trying to evolve away from. And when that style is executed correctly, it becomes suffocating. You can't get the ball back. You can't flip the field. You can't speed the game up. You're trapped inside their pace. And that's what makes this performance resonate. because it exposed how fragile most teams are when they can't dictate tempo. It showed that all the speed in the world doesn't matter if you can't stop someone from taking 6 yards every time they touch the ball. It showed that physical dominance still wins in January. This also reopens the entire conversation about coaching decisions. Because when you watch what happened here, it's impossible not to question why this version of the Ravens didn't show up sooner, why Derrick Henry didn't get this kind of workload earlier, why there was ever hesitation. Because when you see him go for over 200 yards on 36 carries, when you see him closing out a game by himself, the idea of limiting him feels absurd. And that's the tension now surrounding this team. They've shown their hand, they've shown their ceiling. And now the league has to ask itself whether anyone can actually stop this version of Baltimore if they get into the postseason. Because this isn't about flash, it's about inevitability. The most dangerous part is that this team doesn't need perfection. They don't need everything to go right. They just need commitment. Commitment to the run. Commitment to physicality. Commitment to letting their best player dictate the game. When they do that, they become something completely different than the team people thought they were weeks ago. And that's why this win mattered so much. It wasn't just a victory. It was a declaration of identity. It was a message to every contender watching that if you see this team on your schedule, you better be ready to fight for 4 quarters. Because they're not trying to impress you. They're trying to break you. And that's what makes the Ravens terrifying again. Not the highlights, not the stats, not the headlines, the mindset, the willingness to lean into who they are and force everyone else to deal with it. That's how championships are built. And if this version of Baltimore shows up when the postseason arrives, nobody is going to enjoy playing them.